The idea behind EcoCar 2 is to train the next generation of automotive engineers to really take on the kind of transportation problems we're going to have in the next 20 to 30 years. And so most people know that, oil is becoming more expensive. We're trying to find alternative fuels, and we're trying to find ways to use the oil we have left more efficiently. And so EcoCar challenges teams of students to take a production vehicle, and this time we have a 2013 Chevrolet Malibu, and completely redesign it so it gets better fuel economy, better emissions, but still have the same kind of consumer acceptability and performance. And so unlike a lot of the other automotive competitions that students can be in, we can't just go for fuel economy or really good acceleration. We have to go for the whole package. But the really cool thing that our car does too is it can run as a conventional vehicle, or it could run on all electric mode because we have batteries and 2 electric machines in the car. And so, we might be getting decent gas mileage in the charge sustaining mode when the engine's turned on, but we can run for 40 or 50 miles in all electric. And so, if you're an average consumer who's only, driving, 20, 30 miles a day, you might not even have to turn the engine on for a few months, depending on, what your driving habits are if you're taking any long trips. And so having that kind of electrical component there really helps kind of extend or help you get better gas mileage because you're not using the engine as frequently as a conventional vehicle would be. And our vehicle's it's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, and so actually all of the vehicles in the EcoCar competition are like that. But I mean, the Chevy Volt has plug-in capability where it can drive an all-electric for a while. You have completely electric cars like the Nissan Leaf. And I'm blanking right now, but there's a decent amount of them on the market right now. They're expensive because battery technology is expensive, but they're out there and people are buying them. General Motors is a headline sponsor of the competition. They decided that they wanted to give us kind of their newest, coolest car that was coming out. And so since EcoCar is a 3-year competition, this was like the car that was coming out during the first year. Because once they tell us the car, they can't just switch it on us. I mean, you can't ask engineers to, design a whole vehicle, then, switch, vehicle platforms on them halfway through. If you go out and look at the car that we have on our lift right now, there is nothing stock on that car except for the interior panels, the brake system, and like the chassis itself. But the whole powertrain was completely ripped out. We actually took the seats out that came with the car and are putting in kind of lighter weight, more environmentally friendly seats. All the powertrain components are donated or designed by our team. So it's a pretty large overhaul on the car. I mean, the environmental impact of cars is getting kind of better on the planet. Like, at least in the United States, we're using more efficient cars. We're buying them more often. You have a lot of developing countries though that are just buying your run-of-the-mill. It runs, and that's about all it does. It may have an emission system, but it probably doesn't. And so with even though the United States is using cars more efficiently that have better gas mileage, that doesn't mean India or China or any of the other countries in the developing world are. And so there's a lot more demand for oil, and we're using not so great efficient powertrains in those countries as well. And so the demand keeps on going up. We have more people, or the demand for oil. We're burning more oil, and so even if we're putting awesome emission systems on all those things, it's not. We're going to keep on generating more CO2 emissions every year. And so, there's a lot of research going on in biofuels right now, like ethanol or E85, which is what we use in our vehicle. There's B20, which is kind of the biodiesel that still use oil, but they also use kind of like a ethanol or more biofuels base to it, which is helping kind of decrease our demand on, fossil fuels like oil.
I think it's great that the students have a clear kind of learning opportunity, and that we're starting to devote our sort of mental and physical energy towards creating products that have a lower environmental impact or smaller ecological footprint. So from that standpoint, just the exercise itself of recognizing that there needs to be a change in the kinds of fuel that we use to power our vehicles and the amount of fuel that we use to power our vehicles, and figuring out how to kind of best achieve that. I think it's a great exercise, and I think to the degree that it can contribute to kind of broader scale changes in the types of vehicles that we have available to purchase, then it's a positive step.
The demand for energy is going to keep on increasing. We constantly have more people getting born into this world. We have lower kind of death rates, I guess. The population keeps on increasing. And even though the United States is using more efficient vehicles, and there's a lot of countries in Europe doing that, that doesn't mean your random African nation has, the top of the line fuel efficient dune buggy or something, or whatever they're using, truck or, sedan. And so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work to do in that case.